Good evening, everybody. It's the Saintsman here, small van driver on the CX. It's Wednesday, the 17th of November, and it is 10 to 10 at night. Whilst watching the TV, so I've come in our bedroom. This is Monday to Wednesday this week. Days in the life of a small van driver. Obviously, I had last week off on the Norfolk Broads. I like to say I recharge my batteries and ready to go to work, but a stinking cold, which I'm still pretty much getting over. My wife had it as well. Most of the time I was on the Broads, but it was a bit of a break. It was quite nice. Dog enjoyed it on the beaches, but yeah, we had pretty poor health. Wife still got it actually, so wife had a COVID check as well while we were in Norwich on the Monday, but it was fine. It wasn't COVID. It was just a really bad cold. And we had a booster jabs on Sunday, and we think that sort of added to it. So I started back to work on the Monday, which was the Monday the 15th. Got home on the Saturday from the Broads. Funny enough, going back to the Broads, I had my feed on my phone, and I do sympathise with guys who live in areas where there ain't a lot of work. Because in Norwich, we were based in Norwich, we kept the boat on the mooring. There wasn't much work. In fact, there was hardly any work for small van drivers. There was a few small van drivers around, but there wasn't mountains of work. So I feel pretty blessed in Northampton, where I'm based in the Midlands, but we get a fair bit of work. So, yeah, it must be tough if you're any van driver, really. I mean, Big Beardy says about it in Norfolk, there's not a lot. I presume Neil from Neptune's the same. There's not mountains of work in Scotland neither, but if you do get a big job in Scotland, I suppose coming south it pays well. But yeah, pretty blessed actually to think about it. When you think about it, I thought if I was in Norwich, I'd be struggling to make a living here without actually going out of Norwich, dead miles to somewhere with a better area, and staying out really. I think because you ain't getting home either. But anyway, digressing. Back to Monday. Yep, I got a job on the Sunday. There was a job on there, Kettering to Hove, Monday morning, picking up 9 o'clock, which I quoted on quite keenly. £108. It was about 15 miles. It wasn't Hove actually. It was about 15 miles north of Brighton. Yeah, so I picked that job up in Kettering and took that Monday. Got down there about. It's about 12, 1 o'clock, something like that. It's about 1 o'clock, I think, in the end, and it was dead. The feed was dead. Brighton was, it was just dead. There was nothing, not a job. I did think about it on the way down. I thought I chose right here, and there's nothing. But what I need two tyres for the van. But funny enough, where I went, I drove nearer Brighton actually, because I was in a village, so I drove nearer Brighton. And where I went to a place called, is it Lews, Lewis? And I went there. There was a Tesco, big Tesco there. So I was going to get sandwiches because I hadn't bothered making a sandwich. And there was a tyre place just up the road, which was handy. Local, I like to go to local tyre places. Stuck 2 tyres on my van. Took him about 40 minutes. And I thought, I bet a job pops up when I'm sat here. But no, it didn't. So I drove to the top end of Brighton. Oh, I went to Alfred's then. Yeah, I got headlight bulb gone as well. It was brilliant start Monday, this was. I was spending more money than I was earning. Yeah, headlight bulb had gone. And I carry a spare normally, but I'd used it. I normally buy them in pairs. And I'd used the spare as well. So I found a Halfords just on the way into Brighton. So I went there. And got a couple of headlight bulbs, got a spare, so I've got a spare now. Sorted that, and still no jobs. So I was beginning to panic. Not panic, that's the wrong word. Just a little. I've not got the patience, but nothing. There was 3 or 4 drivers around, and no one had got any work. And right up to Crawley, there wasn't nothing. There was the odd job, 1 or 2 jobs, but nothing really. Now, in Northampton, the shipper that I use in Northampton, who uses me without going through the CX, they've got a depot. They've got 2 depots, and one's in East Grinstead. So I gave Chris a ring in Northampton to see if East Grinstead have got anything. He said, I don't know whether they have got anything today, Dave. he checked on his laptop there. He said there might be a couple of items, but I don't really know whether they've got their own drivers, because they have got their own drivers that can do it. He says, but if there's anything, I'll tell them to shout you. But so I sat in Brighton. I'm thinking I'm going to be stuck on £108 for the night. This is a rubbish day. But in fact, it turned into a really good day, a long day, because then a job did come from the shipper. He put it on the CX actually, and it was pick up East Grinstead from their depot, and it was 2 drops overnight, one Worcester and one Cardiff. So it was 2 drops. So it was quite a good mileage. It was quite a lot of mileage. I quoted £172 on it, and it was overnight. You could deliver as soon as, but it had to be delivered before 6 in the morning, and it was to 2 hospitals. There was samples in boxes, tissues or something, and I went and they got them there for me, and I picked them up. I think about 5:30, 6 o'clock. When I picked them up, I'd filled up with fuel, and I went to the depot, and they'd just arrived, and they're only 2 boxes, so I was off. So I'd got a massive split shift. I got about a 5-hour gap where I hadn't done anything. So off we went. Set off. Royal Worcestershire Hospital, which found quite easy. Massive hospital, absolutely humongous. And when it's pitch black, and you've got to go to a certain department, it's tough. But I put the magnetic stickers on the side of the van to show that I was a courier. Parked the van, found a nurse who was outside having a fag, asked her a question. She said, you need to go to the main entrance, because where you're going, it's closed for the night. It's only open in the day, and they'll tell you where to go to a theatre. Which I did. I went to the main entrance, I parked the van, just dumped the van, literally double yellows, because I'm thinking, no, this time of night, wasn't megally busy, but I went to the main entrance, and a porter, actually a head porter, took me to the theatre entrance. I couldn't go in, obviously, so sorry about the light, let's come forward a bit, there we go. Yeah, so got dropped that one off at Worcester, jumped back on the motorway. I went down the M50 instead of going down to the M5 and across. It saved a bit of mileage, and I pulled into Cardiff, and it was the Royal Glamorgan, and it wasn't in Cardiff, it was past Cardiff by about 15 mile, and just off Pontyclun. I've said that wrong, I bet, but that's where it was. That was a lot easier. I went straight to the main entrance. This was now 10:20 at night, and you think I started at probably 8:15 in the morning. It's a 14-hour day, but obviously I had 4 or 5 hours of that, I hadn't done nothing. 2 tires. So that got done, and he phoned, and security was there. They got security on the hospital. I don't know whether this is anything to do with the Liverpool hospital where that bloody nutty bomber blew up a taxi, but there was security outside. And he said to me, "I'll take you in, mate." It was all locked. He couldn't get in. He had to pass to get in. This is the main entrance. And he says, "Yep." He said, "I just phoned now, and he's got to come down and sign for it." And he says, "Is that you done for the day?" I tried to explain where I come from, Northampton to Brighton. He said, "My God, you've done a lot of miles." I said, "Yeah, the bed's in the back. I'm just going to find a business park or something really close by and just crash." And I said, "I'm looking for somewhere quiet." And he says, "Well, I'm on security all night." He said, "There's a car park," and he pointed out. He said, "Well, when you go outside, I'll tell you where it is. Overflow car park, quiet as a mouse all night. And if you need to use the toilet, you want to come and use anything toilet, just brilliant." What a top bloke. I got it signed at 10:20. I got my paper done by 10:25. I went and parked up this humongous car park. There was 2 cars in it. I parked right at the back of the car park. Beautiful. I was in bed doing my paperwork. I was in bed after I had a quick cat lick, cleaned my teeth, jumped into a pair of shorts and into my sleeping bag. 11:15. I was done, and I was absolutely knackered and slept. I woke up at 5, and it's quite mild. Yeah. I didn't even put the heater on, because I've got a thing now if I tramp, because I haven't got a bulkhead. So if I tramp and it's cold, I put the key in the ignition. I just lean through, key in the ignition. It's on heater on's 2 on hot. Get back in the sleeping bag, chill out for about 5-10 minutes, and by then the engine's warmed up and it blows beautiful. And I've got a night here, sort of a sort of a budget night eater really. It cost me about 5 minutes ticking the engine over, and it's warm as toast. But didn't need it. It was okay. So I woke up about 5. I thought, oh Jesus, I could do a bit more sleep than this, and I managed to get back off again. And the next thing I know, I heard cars clunking and people talking. I thought, and it was light, 5 to 8. I've got a big flag in front of, between the bulkheads, so no one can see in the back. I lifted the flag up, and the car park was chocker. I must have been 500 cars parked all around, and I never had a thing until 5 to 8, which is great. So I had a good kit. So I'm looking for a job now. Tuesday, Monday. That made Monday a really good day, although it was a long day. I say it was best part of 15 hours, I suppose, but I say 5 hours of that didn't do nothing really, apart from getting the van sorted. I did 463 miles, £280, so really good money. Long day. Slept in the van. Tuesday morning, I'd already decided I weren't far from Cardiff Services. I thought I'd drive to Cardiff Services, probably grab a shower, get a sink, clean my teeth, have a bit more of a wash. I've got dry wipes, which I've got bucket water, and I can have a cat lick, what I call a cat lick. I've got electric razor, so I can have a shave. So decided that's what we do, and I go to the services, and there's a Greggs there as well, so you can get something to eat, get a coffee. And I was there about 8:45. There was a few drivers around, and I hadn't got much happening. And then a job popped up. I looked. I was between Cardiff, west of Cardiff, and I thought, well, I'll stay here, and if there's nothing coming, I'll perhaps move to Newport later, because that brings in Bristol, Cardiff, Newport. But where I was, there was only a couple of drivers near the Swansea way, and the rest were all Cardiff to Newport. So I thought, well, I'll just stay here and see what happens. And a job popped up, Swansea to Hull, which was a really good distance. It was 200, I'm going to say 260, 270, 260. It was a good distance. I wanted the job because I thought, yep, it gets me out of Swansea, it gets me my day's money. I quoted 198 on it, and it was one item. It said one item to Hull, and I got it. Lady phoned up, really nice lady. She says, are you okay to pick this up within 45 minutes? I said, yeah, I'm about half hour away. Sent me the postcode, and it was one box going to in Hull. It was like a private. It was again. It was like a part. It was like some sort of part for a kid's body that was going up to Hull. I don't know what it was all about. I don't really care. It was one box, and it was light as you like, so it's easy. Long drive. So I set off, and it's going to be about 5.25 hours, something like that. And it was. I put there that I'd get there at 4 in the afternoon. I actually got there. I only had one break for coffee, and I filled up in Swansea because the petrol in Wales was really cheap. 144 for diesel, which is cheap at the moment. So I filled the van chocker, so I got enough to get to Hull. Got to Hull and delivered it straight away. Right in the centre of Hull it was, but it was easy to park, get sorted. Went to an Asda just down the road, and I presumed that was going to be my day because it was now 4 o'clock, 3:45 in Hull. I got the feed on. I checked on my laptop as well when I parked on the way up. There was no jobs in Hull. Again, it was quiet. It's quieter this week, I've noticed. But I'd got me job. And what happened, when I quoted at 198, when it came through, she just rounded it up to 200. That's my minimum of the day. So I'd done my day. And with 280 the day before, I was happy. I thought, well, I can just stay in Hull. I'll tramp again. It's not that cold, so into Asda I go to get some food that will keep me going through the night and the next day. Bit of breakfast, bananas and that. And I was going to Asda, and the phone pinged, and it was a job from Hull to Birmingham. I'm like, okay. And it was town centre. It was where I was. It was about a mile away. So I quoted on that one. It was 130 miles. And I thought, if I get to Birmingham, at a reasonable time, I can be home. I didn't tramp tonight. I can travel Birmingham to Northampton. I'm quite happy to do that. So I did. I phoned. No. I sent it through. It said quote e-quote only. So I did it quickly in my head. I quote 90 quid. There was 3 or 4 vans around. I thought if I get it, brilliant. It's going to be another long day, but it's it's money, isn't it? And yeah, about I hadn't even got to the checkout. I was still shopping. And the phone went, and it was like he says, I just looked at your feedback, mate. There is a couple cheaper, but it's a residential. You're going to be in Birmingham later tonight, he says, and I need this to be definitely getting there. I don't want any messing around. He says, so can I quote you? Can I put you down for it? I went, yeah, I'll do that for you. I says, I didn't say I was shopping. I said I was getting fuel. I said, I'm just getting fuel at Asda. I says, I can be jumping on that. And it was literally 8 minutes away, he said, and that was in traffic in town centre. It was less than a mile. Right in the town centre. It was one box going to a residential address in Birmingham. So we jumped in the van. We just done a 5 hour drive with a bit of a break. So I thought I'll go and pick it up, and then I'm going to go and have a little park up and just have a sandwich. Instead of eating it on the go, I'll get out by the Humber Bridge, because along that Humber Bridge it's all 50 mile an hour. In fact, it's 40 in most places. They're doing the central reservation, so I thought I'll go and park a bit further up, have a little break for 10 minutes. I picked the parcel up. It was a box. Yeah, it was a box, shoebox size. Grateful. They shut at half 4. Yep. And I got there just after 4:30. So we picked that up. So drove down to Birmingham after having a little break, and I said I'd get to Birmingham at 8 o'clock at the latest. I thought I've got enough fuel. I'm fueled up again. I thought no, I've got enough fuel because I fueled up, and I'll get me to Birmingham. It may even get me for a bit further. So off we went, and it was 130 mile, and the traffic was really easy. It just, and I didn't think it would be, but it was. And I pulled in. It was a residential address, pretty close to Aston Villa football ground. Pretty tricky to find. In fact, I got the number on the Google, but it took me to the back of the house, and I couldn't get round. I was in a cul-de-sac. But I phoned the lady up because I got a contact number, and she says, "Oh, yep, you're in a cul-de-sac. If you come out the cul-de-sac and turn left, I'll come out the front and you'll see me," which I did. I went round the corner to the front of the house, and she was there, nice as pie. And I was delivered that by about 7:20 to 8. Job's good. Then I'm on my way home. It was 7:30 because I was out of Birmingham. I was back on the M6. It was when I phoned my wife to say I'm going to be home in less than an hour. Because I was on the Birmingham. It takes an hour from Birmingham. I was on the I'd come out onto the motorway on the M6, and there weren't mountains of traffic either. So I thought, well, I'm going to pull into Cawley on the way just to top up with fuel, or further down, because the my UK fuels have worked there. I still get cheapish fuel. I managed to I pulled into Cawley anyway, grabbed some fuel and a coffee, and I was home just after 9. So again, another long day. It was just over 12 hours that day, and 9.5 hour drive, really, just over over 9 hours. But I did 290 quid, so I'd had 2 really big days. But bloody hell, I'd done best part of 15 hours, I'd done 26, 27 hours in 2 days. So a bit like being on the trucks when we used to do 15 hour days and 14 hour days. Did 534 miles on Tuesday. So managed to get home. Yeah, it was home before 9, just before 9, about 9. Knackered, absolutely knackered. Still full of cold. Wife's absolutely full of it. She was. It's slight improvement, but she'd had a really bad reaction to a COVID booster on the Sunday. Her arm had gone up in a big red lump and aching. Mine weren't too bad. Mine's fine now. So that's Tuesday. So we have done 2 mega days. But by God, we've worked. The van has done 3 miles short of 1,000 miles in 2 days. So Scylla, Citroen, first 2 days back. I'm feeling pretty lousy, and I'm just doing 2 monsters. But It's all money, isn't it? It's all money. So today, I only got a job booked last night. I woke up this morning and I was determined. I thought I'd just have a chill. Well, the dog weren't too clever in the night. She had to get up twice with the dog, and then she's been a bit sick. Bless her. She obviously ate so much she shouldn't have ate. So we've been up a little bit with the dog, and I thought I just won't go in so early on the feeds. But the feed went on my phone. Job Northampton to Nottingham, and it was 8:45 pickup just down the road. I'd had a shower. I was up at 5 with the dog. I'd had a shower. I had a cup of tea. Went back to bed. Watched a bit of TV. Wife was awake. I walked the dog. Come back, and this job was on there. So I quoted on it. I quoted 75 pence per all in per mile, 56 quid, and I didn't expect to get it, to be honest, because there's a fair few drivers. And the phone went, and I got it. And it was from Northampton to the Queen's Medical Centre, Nottingham. Yay, my favourite place. I'm getting used to hospitals now. I still don't particularly like them, but I've been to all the big hospitals. Been to the Queen Medical one at Birmingham. I've been to 3 or 4 of the big London ones. I've been to Cardiff. I've been to Worcester. Yeah, I've been at a lot of hospitals. Nottingham, Queen's Medical Centre. The last time I went, I had to go all over the place. But this time it weren't too bad. It was a COVID thing to take up from the labs in Northampton. Quoted 56. Took me about an hour and a half to get there, all in. And it was South Block, and I found the South Block. Lovely bloke on security. He was outside. I said to him, "Where can I park? Because I'm going to go South Block." He says, "You can go there because you're a delivery. Public are not allowed, but you can park it there. It'll be fine." I've got 4 floors up, along, around, blah, da 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 da. Found the receptionist. She was happy. She says, "Great, I'm glad you found us." She says, because sometimes they try and leave it but this has to come to us. All good. So I did that. Pulled out of there, and he didn't say, "Oh, you got to come straight out." So I sat in the van. I thought, well, I'll try and get a job from here without doing any dead mile or any miles. But it's a hospital, and there was a lot of traffic going on. I thought, let me just get out of the hospital. You go down a couple of side streets. I thought I'll park somewhere around here. In the end, I didn't. I parked just down the road on the A52. No, the road towards. It's about a mile down from. On a retail park. I know there's a retail park there. I went about a mile, and I pulled over there. There's a few jobs going, and I was going to stay local, so I didn't want to do anything mega today. I've had 2 monster days, and a job popped at Derby to Stoke-on-Trent, 2 drops, and I was only 15 miles from it, and I quoted all in. It was only 30 odd miles to Stoke-on-Trent, so it was about 45, 50 miles. I quoted £48. I think it was 54 miles. But with the 2 drops. But I quoted 48 and got it. It was picking up from a DIY, DIY wholesalers, and it was 6 items to one house and 1 item flat pack to another. Do the first one first in Stoke-on-Trent, no problem. Second one, all the address I got was Badgers Croft in a village, ST9. My God, what a place to find. The both sat navs took me to this farm, and it wasn't it, but there was someone doing some gardening, a lady, and luckily I see her and she seen me, and I just said, "Have you any idea where Badgers Croft is?" She went, "I have." She says, "You're a fair way from it." I literally had to go into this village, over a little bridge, a left up a track which said no public access, and she told me this, if I would never gone up this track, and the track splits at the end. I got on my sat nav, it was still a road, and it splitted left and or straight on. There was a private school, and it was only a house, and then a hall to the left, and she says you have to head to the hall, do not go in the hall because they'll go mad, and you go around a little back. Now you're in the wood, and it was called something Wood as well. It was Badgers Croft, Merewood, Stoke-on-Trent ST9. And if she hadn't said that, I would never got up this track. And I went through a wood, I'm not even on proper. I'm on shingle, whatever. And there was 2 houses at the end. One's derelict, and this one they're doing up, and it was just through the other side of the wood, dead end, and that's where it was. There was a fitter there, and I went, incredible. Out, I says, it's sheer fluke I found you, and no, there was no signal on my phone properly, and it was literally, but it was just on the outskirts, the other side of the wood, and it overlooked the beautiful valley. I can see why they're doing it up, but you ain't got no neighbours there, and in the winter you're getting nowhere because it was a mile and a half up this track, and any snow, any rain, unless you've got a tractor or a Land Rover, you're not getting this else. But we got the job done. Wow, that was 48 quid. Let me tell you, sometimes you earn your money, and I earned my money on that because it shouldn't have took that long. It took a lot longer, but it was enjoyable because it wasn't a motorway. It was through wood, beautiful countryside. Yeah. With that, I drove back to Stoke because there was never any jobs coming from here. This was like 9 miles north of Stoke. So I drove back to Stoke-on-Trent. I thought I'll park in Stoke-on-Trent somewhere and I'll see if I can get something. Again, I went to Sainsbury's this time, right in the middle of Stoke-on-Trent. Again, cheap fuel. Sainsbury's, Stoke-on-Trent, 144. 144, I can cope with that. Oh, I just got indigestion. I had a curry. It's really repeating. Yeah, so I sat there. I thought I could do a job now to get me home. I'm going home. I thought I just want a little job. I don't really want to be out tonight. I'm done 2 mega days. I want to get home, and a job popped up brilliantly. Stoke-on-Trent to Banbury. Top of that. Banbury's 30 miles from my house, and I quoted it was 100 mile all in. I quoted 65. I thought I'll do it for 65p. And it was 65. I quoted 65 quid, and I got it. I got a phone call, and I got it. I probably could have got 70 quid, but I wanted this job. And sometimes when you want a job, you've got to go in a little bit lower to make sure you're going to have a good. Even if you get it, you're still making money, but you're not doing a 50p job. You know, you're not completely going cheap and taking the piss. But you think then, ooh, maybe I could have got 70 quid. But for a fiver, your risk of losing the job or getting nearer home and getting home or sitting and waiting in Stoke-on-Trent when there's not a lot of jobs and everything's going north if it is and I don't want to go north. So I was happy. Yep, 65. And literally it went to a motor. I went to a motor components place and it was literally that big. A little box like that. And it was a switch for something. It was for a van. And it was a switch that they'd got that was needed in Banbury. So I put it in the front. I put it on the bloody dashboard. It was that little, on the little pocket at the front, and that was easy. I just drove a nice steady, and it worked out 97 miles, and I did not rush. I had a fair bit of traffic. I just thought I'd just poodle through, keep it well down, and I got to Banbury at 5 o'clock. It was before that. 20 to 5. 20 to 5 I was in Banbury and tipped, and then my phone went and I thought, oh, there's something wrong here, but it was from the bloke who gives me work. You don't put it on the CX. He goes through the CX, but he doesn't put it open for bidding. He just says, Dave, I'm going to put this through if you want it, and he said, I've got a job tomorrow. He offered me a job to Glasgow. I thought, Jesus, but I've got to be in Glasgow by 12, and I didn't want a mega early start. I didn't want to sleep in the back, and I couldn't sleep in the back because the parcels would have filled the back. 6 parcels, quite big ones, so I'd have had to leave about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and be in Glasgow Thursday, looking to get home make sure I got home. And he says, I've got another job. He said, I've got that job, but the other job I've got is Chelmsford, Beckenham, and Stratford, London. 3 drops and good money. And he's even paid me Dartford. He's paid me ULEZ. I said, I think I'm alright. He said, no, I'll put it on the bill. He says, I don't care for you. He said, so I got good money. So I went and picked that up on the way home. I was still home. What time did I get home? I was still home by about 6:15. And I've got a load on the back of the van, 20 odd parcels. It fills the van just about, but nice easy boxes, and it's a good start. And I can be in Chelmsford for 8 o'clock, 8:30. So I'm going to leave here. I'm going to leave here about 6:30. So I'm going to bed soon. Have a cup of tea, clean my teeth, get rid of this curry, see if I can sort that out. So today I only did 277 miles, which was nice. Feels like a day off after the 2 days I had previous. I've got 170 quid, and I've got a load on the back, which comes in at 277 miles already on the back for tomorrow. I did nine and a quarter hours today, total, including having my break. Had a break at Sainsbury's, had a coffee, had a couple of breaks, 6 hours driving for the day. That's not too shabby. 170 quid, only worked out at 62p a mile, but I'll take that. So for the 3 days, my average of 200 a day will be 600. And at the moment, I'm on 570, 600, 740. So I am 140 quid up. And I've already got a job tomorrow booked in, and I'm getting 130 something for that. For 130 odd miles, I think it is. 140 miles it may be. But I'm getting 135. Obviously I got obviously I got me Dartford to come off of that, which is only 3 quid. I'm ULEZ, I'm only going to Stratford, so that's down by Blackwall Tunnel, so I'm not going into the London bit. I should be done tomorrow by about 1. Yeah, I'll say 1 o'clock. London. Yeah, it might be AM, that might. Yeah, we'll say 1 o'clock. And then I'll just toodle up to Woodford. I'd normally go up to Woodford Green, somewhere around by the M25, M11, and see if we can pick a job up coming home. I'm not really going to do much else, but that puts me on really good money. Really, I should try and smash it tomorrow as well. And then Friday I can even not bother or just smash it again. I just had a week's holiday and need some money. But all in all, it's been good. Yeah. But I think the work is drying up. There's definitely less jobs on there. I think I've heard Van on the Run, Big Beardy, even Pete the Courier all said the same. So I think it's work. And when I was in Norwich, I did think last week on holiday that if I had a small van, I would struggle in Norwich, because you'd have to tramp. You'd do too many dead miles trying to get home. There was nothing going to Norwich later on. Not, you want to get within 30, 40 miles before you drive home. 50 probably is that's my limit's 50 to 60, which is a gallon of fuel. But it's the time, it's an hour, it's wear and tear. But hey, that's up to Wednesday anyway. So we've done 3 good days, 2 really mega days, stonking days, and then today we've had a pretty good day, 170. I'm not going to knock that. And I've had a nice chill out with the wife tonight. We had a curry. Yeah, definitely have a cup of tea or something. Curry mouth. Anyway, I'll be on again at the end of the week. I'm definitely going to do a tramping one, because I thought I was going to tramp last night and I was going to do the camera. I didn't show you what gear I use in the back of the van and how I set it up, which makes it really comfy for me. I will do one next time I tramp, if I'm not too knackered, but I was knackered Monday, but I thought I was tramping Tuesday, so I was going to do it then, but I didn't. I got home, but I will do one. I appreciate your comments. I don't edit anything. What you see is what you get. I don't even normally look at it again. Once I've done it, I've done it. But I've got 160 odd subscribers now. Really appreciate that. If you want to subscribe and listen to me waffle and piffle for 34 minutes, fair play to you. But I hope I'm helping you guys. If you've got any questions, put them on there in comments. I will get to them. I try and answer them honestly. I do what I do. It ain't easy. People think, God, you're doing 200 a day. Yeah, but you work. Yeah, it don't come easy. Peter Curry says it is. You've got to put the effort in. It's not a golden ticket. It's hard work. It is hard work. But I love driving, and I'm in a really good area, so I'm managing to do what I do. So I hope you're making money anyway. Speak soon.